Hello, in this video guide, I'm going to show you how you can use Nansen to track what the most profitable investors are doing on chain so you can potentially follow in their footsteps to become a better crypto investor. Nansen is a wallet labeling solution that has 350 million wallets labeled across a number of different chains. Of those 350 million addresses, the most profitable are assigned a smart money label, which is represented by this little nerd here across Nansen. You can track smart money's activity to get your head in smart money's wallets and potentially also then copy trade or replicate their activity on chain to become smart money yourself. Simply head over to the Smart Money tab and navigate to Token Discovery. And here you can see in real time what smart money are buying or selling. You can play around with some of the filters as well to surface tokens that are a little bit more in line with your trading strategy or where you're playing in crypto at the moment. For example, you might select AI and meme coins. If there was a specific label of smart money that you might be interested in tracking, let's say it's fund activity, you can also apply this label here just to see what the most profitable funds are doing on chain. What I do when looking at this table is I go through the list to see if there's any interesting tokens that I might not be familiar with, that I might want to perform some more due diligence on before considering entering an investment position. In this example, I notice there's this MSTR token, and hovering over it, the FDV seems relatively low, which to me could suggest that this is a new token that smart money might be buying into. As we can see, there's 50k of inflows over the last 24 hours, which could be interesting. Let's use token God mode to dive into this a little bit deeper. If I click in to token God mode, it immediately takes me over to the Smart Money tab, which is where I can see what those most profitable 10,000 investors are doing on this specific token. I really like to use this chart to help me interpret the sentiment and to get a quick pulse check of what those most profitable investors are doing with this token. If I'm trying to build conviction around this asset, I'm going to want to see both of these lines going up and to the right. The dark blue line represents the total balance in smart money addresses, and the light blue line represents the number of unique smart money holders. If this was going down and to the right, potentially smart money no longer believe in the project, or they're simply happy to take profits at that specific price. What I then like to do is understand if there are more inflows or outflows of the token at the time. And here I can see that this 30-day smart DEX trader, who has a 94% win rate trading in crypto, has actually been adding a good chunk of that 50k to their portfolio, which is quite interesting activity. We know that this individual is performing well on chain, and they've made 194k over the last 90 days. What I can do here as well is sort by the value to understand what some of the other smart money addresses are doing. And here I can often spot some interesting ENS names, potentially some KOLs or elite crypto investors, and also funds as well that might be adding or exiting their positions. From here, I often like to hover over some of these addresses to see the win rate and also the P&L of some of these individuals. This individual, the top holder, has a 77% win rate, and they're currently holding about 210k of this specific token. So to me, based on this chart going up and to the right, and there being many smart money addresses that are adding to their position, this is looking quite bullish. However, I should look at more data as well before deciding to invest in this token or not. And what I often like to do is to check out the Balances tab, which shows me the activity and the holdings of all addresses on this particular token. Here it can be interesting to spot if maybe 80% of the token supply is held by one developer wallet. That could be quite a red flag for me if I was performing some due diligence. Here, I can see that there is still some larger inflows, especially over a 30-day period, to this specific token. It would look quite bearish if this was all represented by red, because that would mean that the top addresses are selling off their position. The balance tab can be a really great way to also spot interesting addresses, because it's often funds, big whales that are holding these tokens. And it can be interesting to look at some of these ENS names as well, because potentially you recognize some of the names from Twitter or elsewhere along your crypto investing journey. If I head to the second page here, I can now start to see a number of smart money addresses, which again will always jump out at me compared to just some of these other regular addresses that we see here. So Nansen has a number of different discovery features, and smart money is only one of them. What you can do to ensure that this token will surface across the other discovery features in Nansen, like signals, which we'll cover in a future guide, you can simply add this token to your watch list, and you'll start to be alerted of this token's activity in other discovery features when you surf across Nansen. Thanks for tuning into this video guide. I hope you've learned something today, and I wish you all the best on discovering tokens early by tracking smart money.